My next favorite accessory is basically a power drill. For a lot of the things around the rig, you're going to need it, whether it's for skirting or if you're doing something with your tires or fixing something inside. This is a very handy little gadget. Whether some people even use it for their landing gear to drop their stabilizer jacks down.
We're outside today because we're going to talk about our favorite RV accessories.
Your must-haves and your maybes.
And things that we find are just a little bit helpful to make RV living just a little bit easier.
Yes.
So, back into the RV gear. Brent, take it away.
Well, first and foremost, this baby here, Vaer 400p is the model I have. And this is the one that actually hooks up to a battery, so you don't plug it in. But this little puppy will go up to 150 psi. It'll do any of the vehicles we have. It'll do the trailer tires, and even some of the air mattresses that are something that go along with RV life.
Oh yeah, we did our inner tubes with the
inner tubes, yeah.
Yeah.
Any floaties, yeah. Except for the boat. The inflatable boat, that's a separate pump, so okay.
That's all manual. Means how we live in Canada, we have a heated hose.
That is actually one of the more important things for anybody that's full-timing. It's hooked up right now, so I can't really show you the whole hose. It's a 25 foot. It is made by Camco. I've got it all hooked up right now, and it is plugged in because we're expecting some very cold weather tonight.
It actually snowed this morning.
Yeah, it snowed a little bit this morning, so yeah, we're expecting a little bit more tonight. And yeah, it's a 25 foot hose made by Camco. I believe it was in the $125, $135 Canadian range. And we've got a link for that. We picked it up off of Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere around here. One of my most useful accessories, my power drill. This little guy is great for helping out when I'm working on the rig. If I need to do anything with the skirting or anything inside, anything with the awnings, or even on the roof for that matter with the vent covers. But a lot of people also use these for their landing gear to drop their stabilizer jacks. If you don't have power jacks or if you need to override them manually, this is a great little accessory. After that, my next favorite thing that is a must-have is a good socket set. This one here is made by Stanley. I picked it up at Canadian Tire for roughly $100. This one here has every socket you need up to 1 inch. Let's pop it all open, yeah. It'll take you everything up to 1 inch. I've got up to 1/2 inch drive, right down to 1/4 inch drive. It's got the full gamut of everything standard and metric. So up to 22 millimeter metric, up to 1 inch standard. And anything above that is a little bit specialized. So I do have a couple extra ones, which I've got a 23 millimeter, which is just 1 millimeter above what I have, because this one here is the only one, unless you have a 15/16, which I don't have, for the hot water tank heater, for the plug. I change that roughly once every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the luck of the plug. Sometimes they'll last a long time. Our first one lasted almost 10 months. After that, we've had them go roughly every 6 to 8 weeks, and they're easy to change out, but with the correct socket, it makes it so much easier. You don't have to worry about a wrench and fiddling around with vice grips or anything like that. The correct one makes the job much easier.
And we're changing out our water heater plug more often than the average camper because we're living full-time in our rig.
That is correct. And then the final thing that it's a must-have, a good torque wrench. It doesn't have to be expensive. I think I only paid about $60 or $70 for this one. It'll go up to 250 foot-pounds. I use it for the truck, I use it for the car, I use it for the trailer, and everything in between. If you ever need a torque wrench, you're gonna want one, pick one up. They're great. They're a must-have.
And it sounds like a good investment too.
Absolutely.
All my items that I enjoy using, that I find are a necessity for RV living, are inside, except for one. We bought this wagon before we went full-time RVing. And it folds right up nice and small. And we use it for going to the laundry. We use it for packing garbage away. And I originally bought it because Maddie was struggling with Watts. So that's the other alternative, is I can put Maddie into the wagon and Wrigley can run and have a good time. So that's our wagon, so that's one of my favorite RV.
And I noticed it's got an extension on the handle there.
Yes, because Brent and I are taller than the average person, and these were made for people who are 5 feet tall, and we don't want to walk with our wagon like this.
And you can see I've just used a curtain rod and put about a 10-inch extension on it, and it works much easier for anybody with long legs, so you don't have to worry about your heels getting run over by the cart.
Okay, let's go inside because it's freezing out here. It's like it's gonna snow. Storage solutions. That is one of my favorite RV essentials. Having places to put things. And in our trailer, there's, on the interior, I find there's tons of space to put stuff. But you also want to keep it from flying around. So one of my RV essentials that also I used at home in the sticks and bricks is storage baskets. So I have 2 of these ones and then 2 more down below that are black. I got those from IKEA and they're quite big. They have quite a lot. This one holds sweaters and winter socks and that sort of thing. And the other one holds all my sweatshirts. And then I have another size box up here. I don't think you can see it very well in the dark. So I have another size box I just kind of picked up one day. And that holds all my long sleeve shirts. I have to fold them a little bit smaller because it kind of fits inside of that box. They don't really fit in there very well. And then yet another little box that I happen to have, and they just sit on the shelves in my closet. So storage boxes are an essential part of RV life and keeping things in order inside your RV. Another RV essential that is important as far as gizmos and gadgets go is my Dyson Vacuum. And it also lives in my closet. Much better than sweeping or mopping. Our trailer does not come with a built-in vacuum system. Yeah, the reflections just don't have that. We would have had to go up to a Solitude, I think, to get the built-in vacuuming system. And I use a Swiffer and I vacuum everything up. And I have a couple of rugs. One at the doorway, just a runner to catch all the dirt and grime that comes in initially. And then we do have carpet in our RV. So just along the edge of that carpet, it's nice to be able to take the power head to it and give it a vacuum. Our Dyson just lives in there right next to the laundry basket. This is the Dyson. I have this end attached to it, corner vacuum piece. Most of the time, because I have a Velita Swiffer, so I will run it across the floor just to mop things up, and then I just take the vacuum with the end of it and just suck all the dirt off of that. We have a lot of dog hair. We have a Wrigley. With Wrigley or in the trailer, we have so much hair, and I can Swiffer every single day, and we still have more. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And then I also have my power head. That also needs a good cleaning. So it comes with a power head. We have a whole bunch of utensils. It has a small power head that I use for vacuuming out the truck. The Dyson that we bought when we lived in the townhouse, we brought it into the RV and it's perfect. It doesn't take up much space and it's excellent for cleaning. And I have some really bad dust allergies, so having that vacuum to suck up all the dust and dirt and dog and everything else is super awesome. Rather than trying to get it up in a dustpan. I'm not about that. Off to the kitchen to show you some of my storage solutions there. As we indicated before, one of our favorite RV accessories is storage solutions. As I showed you in the bedroom, I have baskets all over the place in there. I have a couple of different sizes. In our pantry and in where we store the dishes, we have a few other kinds of baskets, which I'm about to show you. So let me get them sorted out and I'll show you what my favorite storage solutions are in the RV. Storage solutions for the kitchen and basically the main living area. So I've used a series of baskets to help me keep things from flying around, keep things in order. We'll start with the pantry. So I've put our bread in this long basket. And these are just baskets I found at a dollar store, and so they were relatively inexpensive. And they're just a woven basket with a little wire frame. So I have two like that. I have several like this actually. This one we're using for the bread to keep it from getting squished. This one over here, I call it our coffee basket because it's got our coffee press, our coffee grinder, and then a container for the coffee. And then I have a series of these square baskets that are ideal for canned goods. This one has soup and a few canned vegetables that we like to keep on hand. When we get ready for a trip, we usually minimize them to one layer. When we're at home base, we will stock them up, and Brent likes to get things case lot sales. He will often buy an excessive amount at one point in time, and then we have our storage trailer out back here that he will put them into totes, and whenever the pantry gets empty of all the tomato soups or whatever, then we just go shop it in the out in the cooter. The oils, I've decided to use a plastic basket just because they will drip, and I don't have a huge selection of oils. I'm not super clever when it comes to cooking. I like olive oil. We have our, what is this? Really gross looking bottle. It's our grapeseed oil that Brent does the grill on it. And I've got a little barbecue, and I have my pan that I typically will spray into a frying pan before I fry things, just to give it a little bit of extra slip. But yeah, I keep this in a plastic basket so it can be washed, because let's face it, we always get those drips. And I have a paper towel in the bottom of it to catch it in between washes. That's the only plastic basket I have. Then when we move into the cupboard, like for the plates, I picked these items up. They're just a little wooden thing with some racks on it, and you can adjust how big for the different sizes of plates. And I've got two different sizes, one for the small side plates and then one for the dinner plates. And that's just Corning. Then I have a couple more of these square baskets that we can fit the cups and glasses, and we resorted to plastic glasses because it's just the weight factor. We probably could have regular glass and we'll just put something in between it, but we were trying to keep things a little bit lighter in the RV wherever we could. In addition to the storage baskets being an essential favorite item in our RV, is these little racks. Actually, these were given to me. My daughter didn't need them, or they didn't fit in her cupboards, and so she asked me if I wanted them, and I'm like, yeah, I could use those in the RV. So then I have more square baskets in here that's got some bowls in it. And like I said, I have the two racks for storing plates, which I think is fantastic. And then we have a basket with mugs. And then we have our drinking glasses. And then some wine glasses and that sort of thing up there. And then we have more just travel mugs and that sort of thing. We still have some room in here. I have the edge of the storage rack. So this one goes all the way across through the two cupboards, all the way across. Now I'll show you how this kind of goes all together. And that's what makes these baskets so important and so good for the RV. So we have the bread basket here, and I have two other baskets in behind it, underneath a little rack that's in there. And then we have our coffee bar over here, and that's just on one shelf. So and on this shelf, having this extra little shelf in here allows us to put another basket in which has like sandwich fixings. So it's got peanut butter, and then it's got canned tuna and salmon and that sort of thing. And then the basket with the oils I showed you is just down below, along with our mini squared baskets. I told you we had a lot of canned goods right now. Our pantry is stuffed. On the top shelf is our not as much used items. I have this Tupperware little spice rack holder, which they tend to fall down when we are traveling. And then I have just some more baskets with spices and baking things. And there's a, can you see it back there? Move out of the way, Pepper. There's another shelf back here too, so I have another layer of spices and baking things and stuff like that. Those are just some of my favorite RV essentials, things that I find are necessary, and I just like to keep things organized. Although that top shelf, it needs some work. I'm not gonna lie, that one needs some work. We managed to get an awful lot of stuff up there. I'm gonna have to go through it and check it, because I did a bunch of baking at Christmas time, and now I'm not really doing much baking, so maybe if there's only a little bit left, it might need to go, or we'll see. Maybe I'll do some more baking before we head out this summer, and we'll throw it in the freezer and see how it does. Okay, recording in the bathroom is always a little bit tricky. One of the upgrades that we did when we first got into the trailer was upgraded the shower head. Brent got the Oxygenix shower head. It's a little hard to, it's really dark in the shower, so I'm not showing you it in there. So yeah, the Oxygenix, it gives you a little bit more pressure, and when you're washing your hair and trying to rinse it all out, it just makes a huge difference. But it's just a little bit of an upgrade when we came to the RV. Another one of our favorite RV accessories.
Since we were talking earlier about a lot of the things that I consider favorites or accessories for the RV, I'm going down the road to go a little bit further and say necessities. These are a couple of the things that I could not RV without. And first and foremost, this roll of 6-inch tape. I always keep a roll on hand. I used one basically to do the entire roof, which is in one of our other videos for bulletproofing the roof. I have the 6-inch, and then I've got a small roll of 4-inch as well. And then I always carry 2-inch, which I just ran out of because I had to use a little bit on another trailer. I lent the tape to someone to fix their trailer. This tape is an absolute necessity as far as I'm concerned. I do carry a little bit of the Dicor self-leveling DAP as well, but this does a much better job. It seals a broader area, and I consider it a little bit more important than the DAP.
What you got there, Brent?
So I've told you about a few of the things that make RVing easier for me, working on the trailer, the accessories and the must-haves and the necessities, such as the 6-inch tape. This is one upgrade I'm going to be doing once it gets warmer, so it's probably going to be another couple months before we get some good weather that I can actually lay under the trailer for a couple hours at a time. This is a new Morryde Wet Bolt Kit. A lot of people are probably familiar with this, and this is the main reason why. These heavy-duty shackles, they're a good 1/2 inch thick. The ones that come with the rig are probably less than half that thickness. That is going to be a major upgrade, and I'm still debating whether to go with a Morryde centerpiece for the suspension, or I might go to Lippert, or possibly just leave it the way it is, the one that came with the rig. Still up in the air on that one. These come with brass bushings, which is definitely going to be an upgrade. The ones that came with the rig are more than likely plastic. I haven't taken it apart yet, but I'm guessing they're plastic. And this will definitely be an upgrade, and I'm really looking forward to doing it. Also thinking about upgrading the springs, which they're starting to flatten. It's been 1.5 years, almost 2 years that we've been in the rig. The springs are starting to flatten a little bit, but they're not really that bad, so I'm still up in the air on changing those out as well. But this is going to be a big deal. Changing these shackles out and a full wet bolt kit. And we'll put the link down below for what it is.
That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed seeing what our favorite RV accessories are.
And some necessities, I would say. Accessories and necessities.
Things that make our life living in an RV a little bit easier.
Every bit counts.
Remember to subscribe.
And give us a thumbs up if you like what you see.
Don't forget to ring that bell for notifications.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye for now. All the items that I like to use and that I find are very useful for the for using.
This is our lap dog. Our 50-pound lap dog.
50. Should put that down. What are you doing? It's on. It's recording.
Oh, it is.
It's like I know what I'm doing.
Wow.